Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Gauranga Nityananda. Hey, welcome. Thank you for coming. Come on. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. All right, one of my favorites here. All right, let's meditate on the eternal, immortal Sri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. If you can share this with some devotees, I can't do it on this thing. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ah, that was nice. All right, so this, and then we'll glorify the Lord in Scripture. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Bhakti Peter, thank you for coming. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Radha Govinda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Radha Govinda, Shri Krishna Chaitanya. 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 Radha Govinda, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda Gauranga, 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 Gauranga. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Shri Krishna Chaitanya. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Oh. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Krishna Chaitanya, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Krishna, your name, oh, so pleasing to the heart. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Oh. 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 I feel so blessed to be attracted to the holy name. And I just want to share that blessing. Let everybody become attached to this hearing and chanting the holy name and pastimes and glories of the Lord. Let everybody find the full shelter at this, because it's superb, sublime, super flagellistic, SB alidocious, Fantastic, man. Real auspiciousness. Real. Very real. Hare Krishna. Oh, what a happiness. Vrindavan, Garden of Eden, Vrindavan Dham, Radha Govinda. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Oh, my Lord Krishna, Radha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya, Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Sri Vasari, Gaurabhata, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Krishna, Krishna Radha, Krishna Radha, Krishna Govinda. Krishna, Hare Krishna. This gets better, man. Better and better and better. Man, this movie never gets old. So, ever fresh Hare Krishna movie. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama. All right. Ooh.
Thanks for using.
Okay, let's read a little bit. Intense. Ooh. Yeah, you know, this name is so fantastic. It's you know, it gets more and more pleasing, you know, to hear. Ecstatically pleasing, you know. You can see why Lord Chaitanya said this is the most feasible way of salvation in this age of Kali. Yeah, anybody can chant this name. Religious, irreligious, just chant the name. Listen to the vibration. They're very practiced at listening to things. So why not listen to what's transcendental, man? All right, so So let's see what we got here. Okay. What is this? Moonbeam astonishment. Okay, this is called Moonbeam of Sheer Astonishment. Oh, I don't know if I can read this one. It's so ecstatic, man. I'll try. Whew. Ah. Whew. You know, it's like a heartache. Oh, whew. So this is cast of characters. This is Moonbeam of Sheer Astonishment. I don't know, man. Should I think this is too intense, man. This is like direct Vrindavan. Let's read some. See if I got some Gita Amrita here. Hare Krishna. Okay. So what do I got here? Archives. Here it is. Okay. There it is. Okay. All right. Oh. Um, that's beautiful. Yeah. See, that's the witness, is to show that this works here. So Shamaguri says, Gurudev, I can really feel the Lord in my heart now. I feel his presence as if he has blossomed. I'll tell you, man, isn't it? It's fantastic. It's that's your immortality, man. That's all your sincerity is blossomed into that. Yeah, Lord is. I feel very fortunate to have disciples like you. That the Lord is giving His mercy to. Hey there, Nari Dra Soham. Okay, so what do we got here? Gita Amrita. All right, let's see. I gotta go this way, up this way here. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Whew. I feel pretty slack right now. It's like, all right, here we go. I'm getting there gradually. Knowledge of the absolute truth. Yeah, that okay. Let's see. Mm. Attaining the Supreme, Chapter 8, Gita Amrita. Arjuna says, "Oh my Lord, oh my Lord." Oh my Lord. Oh my wonderful Lord. Oh my Lord. What a wonderful Lord, keeps track of us. You know, these people want to track and trace us. You know, they can't do it, man. Not like God. You know, He's tracked and traced us through all embodiments, man. Keeps track of us. You know, and now that's our turn to keep track of Him. Trace out His footsteps, man. Okay, what do we got here? I got this here. Okay, here we go. Oh my Lord, what is Brahman? What is the self? See, what is karma? What is this material manifestation? What is this material manifestation? You know, these questions nobody can answer. You have to get it in disciplic line, either from the Lord Himself or from the Lord Himself in the line. You know, it comes through the disciplic line. We can't answer these questions. What is karma? You know how many people, if they knew what karma was, they would be afraid, you know, of doing bad karma, you know, and even afraid of all karma, because karma keeps the world going around, you know. You know, it's amazing. The more, see, the more that we meditate on the transcendental Lord, the less we even want to do things that are to do with karma. You don't want to get out there and you know, like do things that create karma. You know, yeah. So anyway, please explain this to me. What are the demigods? Also, who is the Lord of sacrifice? Yeah, they're very important. Who's the Lord of sacrifice? Yeah, and how does he live in the body? Hmm. Krishna says, Arjuna, the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman. The indestructible. You know, it's funny, they got like Superman in this world. He's indestructible, but he's got a weakness. This kryptonite thing, you know. And to ordinary people, it doesn't weaken him. It doesn't weaken them, but it does him. And he's like super strong. See, everything that, in other words, in the world, everything has got a fault. There's always some fault in it. You know, that's why even Varnashram Dharma and regulative devotional service, you know, without the taste much, you know, discipline, it's good, but there's always some fault, you know, even in our duties, there's some faults, always some fault. But there's no fault. There's no fault in the living entity, the eternal nature. It's faultless. See? It's indestructible. The living entity, you cannot destroy it. That's why, you know, it's a complete illusion when people die, and you know, their body, they don't die. Their body just drops because it's, you know, finished. You know, they wore it out like a garment. But people lament over it. Oh my God, you know, see, actually, the more we identify with the indestructible soul and the supreme soul, because the soul is, its nature when it's liberated is to depend on the use from the supreme soul. See, that's what we do. That's called pure devotional service. You know, just staying connected like this. Then we have power. Then we have some influence. Then we have some real life in this world. See, but Maya is the soul gets covered and doesn't know how to look towards the transcendental Lord, doesn't know where that Lord is, doesn't know what that Lord is, doesn't know what the world is about. It just gets so many coverings. Is avadut a tradition or apara? Apara. Avadut. No, avadut, if you look it up in a dictionary, it's kind of simple. Avadut is, they're not dependent on the ordinary um, course of society. See that, and that happens naturally. You know, the more you get attracted to Krishna, the less you come under the influence and the pushings of fruitive activity. You know, the desire to go out there and make money. You know, and to have children and you know, that kind of building things. Yeah. So actually, the Lord's energies pushes us to act in this world. But that influence of the modes of nature becomes less and less on the devotees. The more that we take shelter of the transcendental Lord, we become more and more like Him, independent of the modes. I mean, of course, we got a body, you got to, you know, keep it going. But you're not like, you know, most people. They're pushed by the modes, whatever it is. Even in the mode of goodness, there's a pushing there. You're pushed to do austerities and renunciations and regulations and all of that, because the mode of goodness, it pushes you. These are pushings. So the Lord, the devotees, when the more they come under the influence of the spiritual nature, the spiritual potency, this pure devotional service, see, their inspiration for activity is the glorification of the Lord, is the meditation and contemplation of God. See, it gives them life, it gives them motivation, whether they're in the world or the spiritual world, or in hell or in heaven. In heaven and hell, heaven or hell, is more or less the same to a devotee if they're strongly in touch with the Lord. That's why the devotees like Bali Maharaj, he went to hell and was fine. He was no problem, because he had closeness with the Lord, and it was an opportunity for him to preach. There was no problem for Prahlad to be born amongst the demigods, because he would just stay in touch with the Lord through the name. So, and then he used the opportunity to preach. Okay, so you could say the more attracted we are to the transcendental name and pastimes of the Lord, the more of an avadutish you become. You're not obligated. See, otherwise the modes of nature's pushings cause you to be obligated to this world, obligated to work in that way. Because if you don't, you'll be miserable. See? And then actually in that way, you're actually giving the Lord pleasure. And that it's just different grades of pleasure. Actually, mode of ignorance, there's some pleasure in that, but it's a kind of a low grade. See, so that's why the living entity, they get that for life. But it's considered, it's like, you know, these zombie apocalypse movies. You see, they're walking around, you know, and they're eating things and people and flesh, and they look really ugly and lethargic. And it's kind of like, you know, that's the mode of ignorance, is the happiness of that living entity is very low grade. They don't know any better. It's like the pig eating stool. In that level of ignorance, it's natural to do that, but it's low grade, you know, if you look from a higher position. So here we're teaching that the highest grade happiness is, the Lord is very merciful in this age of Kali if you make this real connection here, because very easily you started being attracted to what is immortal and eternal. And you could see the demonstration here. Many are getting it. Look at Janaki saying, you know, she couldn't get this before, you know, with these other gurus even. That's right. If they're not transcendentally situated, they can't give this connection. This is the monopoly of the devotees who are genuinely transcendentally influenced by the spiritual potency. And that's God's pleasure-giving potency. There's so much pleasure. What do you think we're doing here? getting pleasure from Krishna's transcendental name. See, there you go. That's a guru, real guru. You know, be close to that person. From them, ecstatic prema emanates. You're going to get the real clear understanding. You're going to get real logical teaching from that person because they're a living example of Bhagavad Gita 10:10. You got to be that to be the real guru. I mean, we're setting the gold standard here. And that if you know the gold standard, then very easily you can attain the spiritual world because you'll know where gold is. We teach where the gold is, man. We're not here to waste time. Don't want to go cut to the chase, man. That's the work here. It has Prabhupada's full approval, doing exactly what he wants being done here, and Krishna's blessed it. Anybody coming here very soon, you're going to get Krishna's darshan. And you'll feel it. You may not see Krishna, with your eyes and all that. My second disciple did. Um, she saw with this inside opened. They got the vision like that. Yeah. So, but you'll feel close to, more and more increasingly close to the Lord because that's just what happens here. If you don't, then you're going through some heavy purification, some stuff that's really loosening up. It's like, Balaram's when he's plowing the earth. Some people have a lot of that. A lot of people don't know who they are or what, like what they really want. They're confused, in confusion. But anyway, that'll clear in due course too. Wherever, Krishna will help. Shamasundari, damn, it's so attractive here. In other words, she has to do her yoga and we're interrupting her schedule. So what happened if one does not satisfy their dreams and desires? Can they become a renunciate? That's a good question. So what happens if one has not satisfied their dreams and desires? Can they become a renunciate? No, you'll just be repressed. Yeah. Here, this is better. This is 1,000 times better than being a renunciate because most renunciates, and this is Kali Yuga, man. Very few people have the power to renounce here. Look at the influence, man. Kali Yuga is very rare. I mean, somebody may, but this is better, man. This is 1,000 times better, man. Here, you don't have to renounce. Just be yourself. Be natural. You get something better than renunciation. The Lord thinks, oh, I'm going to give this person simply because they listen to my devotee, they hear my empowered servant tell them the essence of truth, that being here is more pleasing to Krishna, and you will feel it too. And you'll get the results of renunciation even before you're renounced by being here. Why do it the hard way? Why go the hard way when this is the way the Lord wants to make it easy for people. If you listen here, you follow these words, these instructions, which are not very hard, then you'll get the result of renunciation. Otherwise, you might get the result. You might think, oh, if I can renounce, I can become a teacher and I can teach Krishna consciousness. Yeah. Anyway. Is Avadut a renunciate? No, not in that way. Not in the way of this, not in the Varnashram thing where you're renouncing your attachments. They're striving to attain Krishna. The devotee has already attained Krishna, whether they're an avadut or a householder or a sannyas. It doesn't matter, man. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's why, like it's not a consideration. It's like Nityananda. Somebody invite him to the house, he'd eat meat. Is he going to be? Is he? Does sin doesn't take birth in those persons? Doesn't matter. It burns up in their fire of devotion. They've attained the Lord. So, um, he wouldn't bathe sometimes. I guess whatever he did, it didn't matter. It doesn't matter at that point. Is that they're not subject to the varnashram system or any system. Yeah, all devotees are basically like real devotees with real bhakti. If the stronger the bhakti, the more they're free. Whether they engage, even if they might have some slight attachments to this or that, so what? Yeah, we're in this world here. Even Lord Shiva, when he's in this world, he gets tinged by it sometimes, and it influences him a little bit, but it burns up in his devotion. It's not a big deal. Can you elaborate on material and spiritual desires? Yeah, it's simple. Let's make it simple. Material desires is your happiness is in material objects, subtle or gross. Could be even in the false ego, like your desire to be important. See, you want to be important. That's a subtle material desire. Okay? Or a desire to be desire for money. See, because you're attached. See, it's attachment. You got feeling for that. So spiritual desire, I just want to be close to Krishna. I want to chant his name just to feel Krishna's presence. Darshan. The devotees, they just live darshan life. Okay? Yeah. Desire is just to relish Krishna's name and his pastimes, his qualities. That's spiritual desire. Desire for that. It's like the songbook, samsara dava. The spiritual master is always hankering to relish the lila. Uh, okay.
Accessibility.
So Krishna says the indestructible transcendental living entity is called Brahman, and his eternal nature is called the self. Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, eternal nature is called the self. Isn't that interesting? What is that eternal nature? What is natural for a person that that is knows himself? I'm a servant. This is the identity. I'm a servant of the transcendental Lord. I'm here to serve the name. And you feel it because your service is not like thinking I'm here, like in the word mind. No, it's the devotees feel very happy and pleased when they're serving the name. See, because that's what our nature is. Serving the name is simply by coming close to Krishna. Vrindavan is a place of closeness and people being Krishna's friends. Well, when devotees, they want in Vrindavan, they want to be close to Krishna. So sometimes they chant his names. Sometimes he's there personally present, just like he was when with Lord Chaitanya was here. Sometimes if he's not around, they get great pleasure. Painting pictures of Krishna if they're artistic, doing bhajan, chanting his names, talking to their friends about Krishna, discussing Krishna. See, this gives great pleasure to devotees because that's their nature. Yeah, exactly, Aman, like that. That's another. Yeah, Prabhupada was very enthusiastic to use the money to print books. Uh, mm. That was one of the orders he got from Bhakti Siddhanta. He said, if you got money, get money, print books. So it was, it was perfect. So, lecture in Prabhupada. Prabhupada says, Avadut, Paramahamsa. Paramahamsa stage is the highest stage of perfection. They are not under any rules and regulation. Okay? They're not under any. See why? It's simple. It's logical. They're not under any rules and regulation, but they are under rules and regulation. Their life is regulated by having the rule of loving Krishna. That's a rule. You have to. Everybody. Our nature of our soul is subordination, not insubordination. Subordination. See? So to be subordinate to either rules and regulations, otherwise we're in insubordination. Now, a devotee worshiping the Lord in ecstasy and intimacy is also he's subordinate, see, to the rule of loving devotional service. See? Can't ever stop that. Maya will just take over. They don't want to stop that. They always have to engage in that. See? So Paramahamsa, they're strongly attached to the Lord. See? They're not and it's not like, see, again, you got this Vaidhi people, they're trying to, it's all or nothing and all that stuff, man. Just come here, develop love of Krishna, man. Love for Lord Chaitanya and Radha and Krishna, and be happy forever. Don't worry about so much splitting hairs every little, you know, doesn't matter. Just get attached to the Lord. That's the main thing. They are not under any rules, regulations. Oops. Right. I got a hide message from the stream. Okay. Um, how does such a person engage? That's a long history. You'll find in Bhagavad Gita, there are many symptoms. Oops. There are many symptoms. That's not to be imitated. That is a post position, very exalted, perfectional stage. The spiritual advancement. So if you want to know the symptoms, that is in Bhagavad Gita. There is a list. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. Even see, that's Prabhupada didn't want to go into it so much. Yeah, just become attracted to Krishna, man. Don't worry about, what exactly, because devotees, they, even if you look at the list, you cannot like the 26 qualities of devotee. It does not apply to the devotion that Lord Chaitanya is giving. Many devotees, it's contradictory because it's so intimate. So anyway, become attracted to Krishna, and that you can't go wrong. It's not a bad thing to be unable to serve the Lord with mind, body, and soul. What someone has to do is duty of service mood. Uh, um, yeah, I don't know, man. It's scaring me out to get in too much into that. Let me read some of this here. Talk to Lalita Ganga. She'll help you with this. Well, let's see, Amy. Yes. I say, I have a desire to understand things better. The more I feel I'm understanding, the more questions I seem to have. I like you saying, serve the name, keep it simple. Yeah, but also, yeah, put your questions out too. See, I don't understand. Can someone really meet Krishna? Is that like you meet a real person, or is it like a thought? Okay, that's a good question too. Thank you for asking. Nice. I like simple questions. Simple questions, simple answers, profound answers. Okay, when you meet a person, say you meet a person that you have relationship with, it feels good, right? So is it like that, meeting Krishna? Yeah. And how do you do? See, Krishna is unmanifest now. So if you go and take darshan at the temple and you feel this loving devotion awaken because you see the deity, it's like a person. The same thing with chanting. Devotees don't have to go to temples if they like to chant. They just chant Krishna's name. And by hearing Krishna, they're associating with Krishna. And it's like meeting Krishna. And see, when you meet a person in this world, unless they're really a devotee, you don't have this very ecstatic feeling. See, when you meet Krishna, even by chanting his name, or you meet an actual devotee, you can get very ecstatic. He is so ecstatic meeting devotees or the Lord, if they're real devotees, with the real devotion. Especially, so the devotees, they get very ecstatic chanting the name. That's like meeting a person, only 100 times more happier experience. It's a more happy experience than meeting, and people that become attracted and attached and meeting Krishna, like where they're feeling Krishna transcendentally, they'll see when they're with their family members. Even it's not the same. It's stronger with Krishna. That's Vrindavan. It's like that. People are more attracted to Krishna than they are to their family members. Uh, why do I never seem to have a question? Yeah, so I would, if you get questions coming up in your mind there, Amy, you should write them down. You don't should, but this is God. He's giving you. This is for the benefit not only of you but for others. So it's very nice if the questions are coming up, put them out there so we can see them. So don't be shy, put them up because it'll be beneficial for everybody. That's how we discuss Krishna. That'll keep me on longer too. Um, so the eternal nature is called the self. So our self is servant of Krishna and becomes more and more natural. Serving Krishna is as simple as chanting his name. That's serving Krishna. Krishna feels, oh, I got a friend. My friend is calling me. So nice to be with my friend. I feel so happy being with my friend. Devotee is thinking the same. See, under Yoga Maya, thinking the same thing. Yeah, I'm so happy being with my friend Krishna and Radha. I chant names and I'm associating with them. Oh, I feel so pleased and so happy to be with you. Thank you for coming. See, that's our eternal nature, that kind of servant, intimate servant of the Lord. Uh, so action pertaining to the development of material bodies of the living entities is called karma. See, you develop material bodies doing good karma and bad karma. Isn't that interesting? See, it develops your material, subtle and gross bodies. See, that's why be careful being Guru, Dave. Because if you become a guru prematurely, you'll develop the false ego because people start worshiping you. Oh, you're Guru Dave. You're going to deliver me. Oh, yes, I will. But you can't. You're not ready. You can't. You're not qualified in that way. See, so action by being guru, that action of being a guru and taking on worship of your disciples you become usually puffed up, more or less. Even though you'll go around and say, oh, I'm like this, but inside, it's what's going on inside. So you can develop the false ego. And that goes for anything. So action in the world. See, it doesn't take birth. The fruit of action result doesn't take birth in devotees, even though they're doing material actions. Because devotion burns it off. See, that's how powerful devotion is, like a solvent. See, so now, action pertaining to the development of the material bodies of the living is called karma, or fruit of activity. Now I got something, the other side of this. This is really important. Listen to this. Pay attention. All of us, me too. Okay. So now, when we act in devotional service, either Vaidhi, and especially Raganuga, if you're fortunate to be attracted to that path and you get the opportunity by such a devotee teaching that path, which is rare also. Okay? Now, action in like coming here to sadhusanga, this simple, now you're developing your spiritual body. Well, first, first you're awakening, you're coming here, and whatever you're burning off, purification you're getting, is going to awaken the spiritual body. And then once it's awakened, being here in sadhu sangha is developing your spiritual body. This is so important. This is, you could be doing this and say you fail in doing Vaidhi Bhakti properly. You fail in your Brahman duties. You don't do very well. You're sloppy. Say you're a slob in this world. Say you're not really a good worker in this world. You're not doing your duty in work. But you come to sadhu sangha, you awaken your spiritual body, and you develop that. This is more important. Not that you can neglect these things. You got to keep everything in balance, but you don't want to neglect this, because we're developing the spiritual body. Action coming just simply by coming here, you're developing your spiritual body. Can you imagine that? A lot of people don't know that. They don't know how important this is. They go into the gym. Okay, fine. These guys are going to the gym, man. And they're working really hard to get a nice strong body like this, and go hard. This is, I'm really lax at doing, I go for walks and this and that, but and so I'm a little overweight, and and I'm not perfect, getting old and all that. And these guys are going all day long, but I'm coming here and I'm a little bit lax. I probably should go to the gym more. I probably should do all these things. Okay? But ultimately, this is more beneficial, not only for me, for anybody. See, otherwise you can go do that all day and you get a great body, and then these nice, beautiful women or beautiful man comes, and then you get hooked up, and you get deeply immersed in karma, and see more fruit of action, and then more embodiment, sometimes in a good embodiment in the world, sometimes as a demigod, sometimes as a human being, sometimes in hell. This is action to develop the material body. Sadhu Sangha is so wonderful. You come here, you're developing your spiritual body. The Lord's making it very easy. Some people don't even want to do that. They don't even understand that, the importance of this. Even Jesus said, "Hey, man, don't put your energy into development of where moth and dust will corrupt. You spend all your day doing temporary activities that are only good for this life, and then you get attached to them, and then or people steal all that money you're trying to hoard. It's corruptible. This is not corruptible. Pure devotional service is available here with this kind, because you see it here. You see a guru here engaged in pure devotional service. You can, without doubt, if you scrutinize the script, you see this is pure devotional service. This is prema bhakti going on here. and it's being transmitted to others. This is a fact. This is the highest activity you can do, is sadhu sangha. It's available for the ones who have sufficient intelligence. And that means just to show up. If you're a retard, or you're really like a negative person, but you think Krishna gives you the intelligence, just go and be in sadhu sangha regularly, and all will be well. And all will be well, and you'll realize that, and you'll actually preach that to others. You'll be the witness to the retards, or the negative persons, or the ones who are crippled, physically, or cripple minded. So what does the false ego has to do on the transcendental platform? The false ego is not on the transcendental. If you're on the transcendental platform, the false ego is finished. You no more false. You identify with the real self. You identify as I'm servant of Krishna, not like thinking intellectually or mentally. You're just a servant of Krishna. You just do it. Serve Krishna in ecstasy and intimacy. It's natural. So where's the false ego? False ego is you're identifying with something else other than actual service, transcendental, ecstatic, loving service with Krishna. See, that's why you get that here, that engagement more and more, and it dissolves any false ego identification. Does it reflect from the outsiders or insiders? That I don't understand what you're talking about. Okay. The physical nature, which is constantly changing, is the material manifestation. The physical nature, which is constantly changing, is the material manifestation. Now, this is a great practical conversation here. And this is what people are meditating on and getting all, unhappy, anxiety, fearful, all of this. They're meditating on the changeless world. I mean, the changing world. See, the changing world of politics, the changing world, like in news, the news always about the changing world, and they give you, oh, this may happen. No, the numbers may go up. See, this very practical. You meditate on that, you go in fear. See, they're saying, yeah, many people may. It's always may die. So here, meditate on that. The future, that people may die, and you'll be in fear and anxiety like that. See, that's a material manifestation. People don't know they have a choice. Sometimes I meditate on it because I'm looking over the news, but I don't neglect meditating on the eternal. If you do, you'll be all messed up in this world. You'll become a basket case. A lot of people are becoming really weird, getting strange. Look what they're doing on planes now. People just freaking out on the plane. So many. Freaking out, fighting on planes, really fighting with fists and all this stuff. And see, too much meditation on the changing world, and they don't know they can meditate. That's why this little kid says, "Why are you in fear?" A little kid on the YouTube video or Facebook video. He says, "Why are you afraid, man? If you believe in God," but see, a lot of people, they need to have it explained. Well, how do you believe in God? How do you meditate on God? Who is God? What is God? All that is explained here. That's what we do. We explain these definitions of who and what God is, and how to take his shelter, how to take shelter of that Supreme Lord by his name and his pastimes, meditating on that. And then you go, and then fear goes. Fear is just a byproduct. Fearlessness is a byproduct of meditating on what's eternal. See, it's an all-in-one solution, man. Dissolving fruitive desires, modes of nature, finished, salvation, transcending the modes of nature, entering the kingdom of God, being inspired, being a real teacher, that can actually deliver people. As we can see more comment, come to one who seeks spiritual association. Is it easy or difficult when one has to hear and only accept everything as they explain? As we can see more comment, come to one who seeks spiritual association. Is it easy or difficult when one has to hear and only accept everything as they explain? Well, some people, they can do that. Some people, see, if you, uh, it depends, it depends where you're at. If you hear and comments come and questions come, yeah, you should put them out because it's part of the discussion. Some people just relish hearing, just listen and just relish the mellow of that. Hmm. Okay, I need to take a little break here for a bit. I'm need to relax a little bit. Maybe drive a little more. I'm driving back to Blackfoot. I got to pick up some packages and fix my windshield down over there. Coming up, and then Janaki is coming. I think next week, next Sunday maybe. Let's see. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thank you for coming, everybody. It's awesome.